Nityanandam Paramasugam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasharasham Tattvamasya Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Nityanandam. Hi, this is Manitya Oviananda. Again, today I'm talking another aspect of the Hindu temple. See, in Hinduism, there is over 33 crore of deities. It's funny, crore and crow outside. So, anyway, 30 million deities is what that means. They all have a history and following of their own. On a daily basis, they're worshipped in temples all over India. Everywhere you go, there's a temple in India. So, and like including the major temples that we know of. And then every family and every community has their separate deity that they have been worshiping for generations. So you go to a little village and they typically will have minimum one temple in their village. Minimum one temple. And then every house, they have their own family deity. So every day they'll do the puja there. And they'll worship their deity for generations. It'll be passed down in her, whatever deity it might be. And every day they'll worship the deity. Swamiji talked about, even in his own life, how his grandfather was such an influence. His grandfather would always start his day, no matter what, with his puja. No matter how he was feeling, the mood he was in, if he was having a cold or not, flu or something, doesn't matter. He'd always start his day with the puja. And only then, after he did his morning ritual of the bath and the puja and all of that, and then worshipping Mahadeva, taking the keys for his shop, only then he would leave the house. And he also spoke about anything important that he did, his grandfather, Swamiji's grandfather. He would speak to the deities. He would go into the puja room and he would speak to the deities. He would return the keys of his shop to the deities at night. His life revolved around that sacred sentiment, that connection with the divine. Nothing happens in life without connecting to the divine. Even now, we ask, before we do something, especially at Bengaluru Adina market, for example, if any construction is going to be done, for example, there will be a special puja done to break ground, asking Bhumata, telling her, the Mother Earth, that we are breaking the ground and we'll be building, worshipping and giving our thanks to that divine energy. So before anything happens, we always connect to the divine. Right? There's always something involved, either through the worship or the ritual, or if it's just a mantra, or doing a special arti, just in somehow connecting with that. So the thing about Hinduism is that all the energies have a deity. For example, the 9 planets. Each of the 9 planets has its own energy, its own deity, presiding deity. And also the constellations. See, in Hinduism, recognizes that there's divinity in everything on planet Earth. Even milestones on the highways. British would put in these stone milestones. Even people would worship those as symbolic forms of Mahadeva, of the Shivalinga. That cosmic light and energy. So in rural parts of India, you'll see that happened. Because the concept that many gods, the concept of many gods, is unique to Hinduism. It stems from the view that everything in the world, including yourself, including the person, the people, are the vessel, a worthy vessel for divine energy. So no matter who you are, and what you've been doing, you always have the potential to be a vessel, to drop all of those things and become a vessel for the divine energy and to commune directly with that energy. There's many beautiful stories about saints who did all number of things in their life, all number immoral things. But all of a sudden they had that realization, that click of the divine, and they became a channel for that energy to flow through them. And suddenly they were liberated, they were enlightened, and they were able then to teach others and to transmit that energy to others. And they became completely different. They dropped all of their old identity and that wrong identity, it's not them, and became Jivan Muktis in their lifetime. So communing directly with that energy is not easy for the human mind, okay? So if people say, oh, there's all these deities and they're worshiping idols, okay, think about it. For one, I've already told you the energy that's installed by the deities, and also even the like, for instance, the roadside deities or what. People, by worshiping them, actually the energy is stirred up by mantras. But it's only the energy installed by the incarnations, by the avatars, the enlightened masters. That is the powerful energy that lasts and lasts for centuries and centuries. But think about it. For us to understand what is consciousness, what is the cosmos, what is out there, I can't see it, I can't smell it, I can't taste it, I can't touch it. None of my senses can grasp what that means. That formless, it's formless. So how do you connect with it? Who knows? I don't know, right? That's what you think. But that is why Hinduism is brilliant and created that understanding that each energy, the way that energy manifests from the cosmos, takes on a form. Okay? So the 33 million deities that make up Hinduism, the pantheon of Hindu gods, symbolize that idea. Divine can be worshipped and attained through any desired form. When a Hindu worships his Ishta Devata, that it would be his chosen deity. He's not worshipping the idol itself, but they're communing with that energy. That energy is expressing through the particular deity. So he or she is connecting with that. So people are missing that and they're condemning the deities. And it's such a big miss, really. You know, it's really a big miss. And especially, you know, if when I feel that mother worship is such an important part of Hinduism that is really not talked about in most other religions. Maybe some branches of pagan religion or indigenous religions around the world that you don't hear much about, you can find mother worship. But in Hinduism, it's extremely unique to Hinduism. People will worship the mother and they revere the mother. And I've seen it, you know, there's a stereotype, I feel, about Hinduism and about Indians maybe being, you know, one way, chauvinistic or overbearing or possessive or just various things I hear. And I don't know about modern, you know, youth and all how it is. I know that they need help and they're very much disconnected from Hinduism. So they're kind of losing their roots. I mean, that's another story. But I've met so many beautiful people I don't even know, who they respect women as divine beings also. Like, more, you know, their buddies or whatever is one thing. But they're actually more respectful and a deeper connection with the divine, with the female consciousness, and with women as a mother figure than I've seen in any other place in the whole world. So somebody I don't even know can be in that connection with me because their feeling of understanding the divine mother, that female conscious energy. So such a beautiful respect they're giving to people and to women. So it's really contrary, and it's only now during the British rule and all that where these things are coming into place. Traditionally, if you look at the Vedic civilization, when all the rishis were around, and all of that research and development in that, bringing forth of those ancient tradition, the women were just had a high part in society. I mean, society, whatever that means. But the women had their own amazing and beautiful role. So it's only recently, during the Western, ideals coming in that patriarchal society, it's only now that things are shifting and a little iffy, and there's stereotype is put there. Because people, especially people trying to destroy Hinduism, they want to make it out as if, people are, they're against women, and Hinduism is, against women, and they don't allow women in temples, and that's not true. There's certain temples that do not allow women for a reason. Now, I could have been one of those women who thought, gee, why don't they allow women in that temple? That's not right. There's a temple in Ujjain that Swamiji took us to, not Ujjain, in Nasik, India, during the 2015 Kumbh Mela. He took us there. And that's such a strong energy there, okay, of Shiva. And and he can understand, and also that particular temple does not allow women into the Garbha Mandir area. Now, there's an energetic reason for that. And Swamiji explained it beautifully. But now people will be, let's fight and make some law and they're against the women and all. That's not true. And it's only in certain temples it's that way. Because the way that energy is, in fact, there was a written history about how one woman went into there, entered once. And there was a very bad result to that. It shifted the energy in such a negative way. It caused actually like some destruction in that area because of that energy clashing, because the way it is and the way it's set up for whatever reason, that's the way it is. Because the divine energy has different forms, different purposes. And so we have to respect that, because it's only that reason. There's only a certain reason. If we understand the context, then we won't get upset and we'll understand. So that's why I'm just urging people to educate yourself a little, understand what the Hindu temple is about, why all the deities are there, instead of putting horrible names on it, like Satan worship, and, the deities, they're worshiping false idols. What does that even mean? Come on. Understand the context, and it's not even probably, it's written, I believe in the Bible, don't worship false deities. Does that mean don't go to a Hindu temple and worship the divine energy through there? No. It's saying don't worship false idols. That means people even. That means don't put all your attention into worshiping your ego and your false identities. Those are the false idols that we put up. Our fame, our name. Oh, that person's rich. That person's a king. He has all the gold. Let's not, all of those things. There's many different meanings to that, false idols. And it has nothing to do with Hindu deities, I guarantee. Anyhow, please, I'm just urging you to have a little more openness and understanding if you're not a Hindu and you're not understanding what it means. So, amazing experiences. And I completely am always going to be for the Hindu temple, obviously. And I'm always going to do my best to explain. And if anyone has questions, I'll love to answer any of those. I'll include my own comments. I'll include a direction of where you can go and get more information that's maybe a little more in depth than how I'm putting it, a little more eloquently put. But do a little research and have an understanding about that. It's such a beautiful experience if you can just get into it a little bit with an open mind. Thanks for watching again with Dan and me.